इस विषय पर भी विचार विमर्श किया। एक्सेलेंसी, आज शाम आप रायसीना डायलॉग में चीफ गेस्ट के तौर पर शामिल होंगी। वहां आपका संबोधन सुनने के लिए हम सभी बहुत उत्सुक हैं। आपकी इस भारत यात्रा और हमारी उपयोगी चर्चा के लिए आपका, आपके डेलीगेशन का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
And your delegation.
Thank you, sir. Now I call upon Her Excellency Ms. Yogi Meloni, President of the Council of Ministers of the Italian Republic, to deliver her remarks. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
Dunque, buon pomeriggio a tutti. Ovviamente non posso
Good evening to you all.
partire dal ringraziare.
Let me, first of all, thank Prime Minister Modi and India as a whole for the wonderful welcome that has been given to us. And this is further evidence of our hospitality, which is known the world over. But this is a further evidence of the deep friendship that is uniting our respective countries, and we are celebrating 75th year of such relations. And this has also been proven by the fact that this is my first bilateral visit in this region ever since I took office. And we want to further boost this relation, and this is the reason why we have decided to turn our partnership in a strategic partnership, because we have a very solid relationship. Just let me mention the trade relation. Let me just mention that in terms of trade between Italy and India, we have reached the record figure of almost 15 billion euros, which we have almost, and in 2 years we have more than doubled this trade. But we firmly believe that we can do even more than that. We firmly believe that for instance, reinserting direct flights between India and Italy can facilitate trade and investments. And this is a strategic choice that we are making here, because, as you know, the Italian government has decided to project intense activism in the Mediterranean Sea. And when we talk about the enlarged Mediterranean, this means that it also includes this area, because the Mediterranean Sea is interconnected with the Indo-Pacific, and we want to further increase this interconnection. We have many similarities. We are two peninsulas. We are 2,000-old tradition, relatively younger states, regions which have hard fought for their independence, for their freedom. So I think that there are many elements which bring us close to each other for the preservation of identity, which is one of the basic conditions to preserve the rights of one's own people. So there's a lot to be working on together, starting from some sectors where we want to enhance our cooperation. Let me mention defense, which was mentioned by the Prime Minister, and energy security. India has set up major objectives in this connection. India wants to work in terms of energy coming from renewables, and I think this is a very smart decision, and this is a sector wherein we can cooperate, and we have full convergence on this. And then we have to mention digital transition. We are working on very important projects which are connecting our two respective countries on this.
delle tecnologie emergenti,
and then emerging technologies,
della cybersicurezza,
cybersecurity, space. These are all strategic issues, sectors in which we want to work together, and I think that much more can be done.
Da questo punto di vista scelto, come ricordava il Primo Ministro,
as the Prime Minister was saying, we have decided to adhere to the Indo-Pacific Oceans Initiative, and we have done so because we firmly believe that in an international scenario, which has to be based on rules of respect of sovereignty and territorial integrity, it is very important to guarantee stability and the vision of an Indo-Pacific which is open and respectful of the rules of sovereignty and of integrity of the nations. And this now brings me to another topic, the major shock that nations have been facing, the pandemics, and today the international crisis with the Russian aggression on the Ukraine, the impact on world security, the world order, which is based on rules, and food security, energy security, especially for more vulnerable countries. These are issues which become of the essence where now that India has the presidency of the G20, because I think that India can very well represent, in terms of even of leadership, represent the requirements of the countries of the global South. And we definitely do want to give a helping hand along this process to India. Prime Minister Modi knows very well Italy's position, which is giving full support to the territorial integrity of Ukraine, and we both hope that India, having the presidency of the G20, may play a central role in facilitating a negotiating process for the cessation of hostilities for a just peace. And I think that in the previous Bali G20 summit, it has been important to hold the multilateral community united, and we hope that the Indian presidency can do even more on this and further confirming our friendship. So Prime Minister Modi knows that he can rely on us, on our cooperation, full round support for the upcoming G20 Indian summit, G20 summit. They can rely on Italy, on our government, to further enhance our relations. I firmly believe that there's a lot that we can do together, and I'm not sure if this will lead me to the approval rate that the Prime Minister Modi has reached. I think he's the most loved one of all around the world. But I mean, this has really proven that he has been a major leader, and congratulations for that, Prime Minister.
This concludes the press statements. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Good afternoon.
A press statement issued by both the Prime Minister and the Italian Prime Minister. The first woman Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni, you just heard her. She's the keynote speaker at Raisina Dialogue. That's New Delhi's flagship conference on geopolitics and geoeconomics. This meeting took place at the Hyderabad House. You heard both of them. Well, a far-right leader, Giorgia Meloni, is the first woman Prime Minister of Italy, was elected under tumultuous circumstances. All eyes were on this meeting between Giorgia Meloni and the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. She delivers the keynote speaker at the Raisina Dialogue. All right, we're going to try and connect to my colleague Geeta Mohan, who's going to be joining us from the Hyderabad house, getting us the latest. But lots going on, viewers, as we speak. At one end, there is the meeting of the U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, with Dr. Jaishankar. On the other hand, you have this bilateral going on with the Italian Prime Minister, between the Indian Prime Minister and the Italian Prime Minister. And also, what's on the card is Dr. Jaishankar to meet his Chinese counterpart as well, all after coming in of the skirmishes that we've seen on the LAC and the standoff that still continues. Well, you heard Prime Minister Modi speaking there, looking at deepening ties where Italy is concerned. The latest that, of course, that we are getting in is that the meeting between the US Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, as well as Dr. Jaishankar has started. A lot on the cards there. One is expecting a joint statement as well. Now, besides attending the G20 meeting, Antony Blinken had a bilateral with Dr. Jaishankar. The US Secretary of State had arrived in the capital on Wednesday and will now is in fact holding a meeting with the External Affairs Minister. But having said that, what you see on your television screen is the Prime Minister of Italy, far right, tumultuous circumstances that she was elected in. All right, let's quickly cut across to the first images of what I was talking about, of Dr. Jaishankar's meeting with Antony Blinken. Jaishankar says, pleased to meet the US Secretary of State, opportunity to review bilateral ties, discussed global issues at the meet. It seems the meeting has gotten over, and a statement coming out by the External Affairs Minister. Let's cut across for more to my colleague and our Foreign Affairs Editor, Geeta Mohan. Geeta, over to you.
Well, that's right. The bilateral between Jaishankar and Secretary Blinken just concluded. There are many more that are lined up, Preeti. The entire schedule is running a little late. It had to start at around 11:30 a.m., but about an hour's delay. Nonetheless, there is a lot of area that was covered between the two sides, whether it is bilateral, regional or global, also setting the tone and tenor and the stage for the big visit by President Biden later in the year when the G20 summit level meeting takes place in September. There are many areas that the two sides were looking at covering, particularly when it comes to the G20 agenda, and there is an entire chapter on food and energy security crisis. We are waiting for the statement that the Ministry of External Affairs will release to talk you through the talking points and the issues that really came up. But for the Indian side, it's not just the regional and the global issues, it's also bilateral. We're talking about trade, we're talking about the visa issues that Indians have had with regards to the United States of America. The free trade agreement still not concluded, and a lot when it comes to cooperation in the defense, technology, security sector. There have been few very important deals between India and the United States of America, particularly the Boeing deal. But taking that forward, taking that conversation forward, how the two countries can cooperate, not just with regards to trade, supply chain resilience, but also when it comes to the security architecture. There was some reports earlier that there could be a quad ministerial as well on the sidelines of this meeting, but because the Japanese foreign minister has not turned up for this event and the deputy foreign minister is here, we'll have to wait and see whether the quad meeting takes place. But that's an important conversation as well. Security in the Indo-Pacific vis-a-vis China and growing Chinese aggression. Russia-Ukraine war and the turn it is taking for the worse, and the role that India could play. But we'll have to wait for the statement to see with much clarity what really transpired.
All right, appreciate you joining us. Geeta, we're going to continue to come back to you. It's an action-packed day, heavy on the diplomatic foot. But let's cut across right now to the latest visuals that are trickling in from Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh, Well, Bulldozer, Baba's at it again. We're going to get those visuals for you. Just give us just about a minute and we're going to continue to cut across to Geeta with the latest. All right, so these visuals coming in from Prayagraj. The bulldozers of Yogi Adityanath are rolling again. It seems in this case, these visuals are coming in the Umesh Pal case. The bulldozer action has come to the fore once again in the Umesh Pal murder case, this time being taken at the house of the aid of what the UP government calls the Mafia of Atique Ahmed. So these visuals coming in from Prayagraj. What the UP government alleges that Zafar Ahmed, the close aide, had given shelter to Atique's wife, Shaista Parveen, in the house. Along with this, all the accused had stayed in the house after committing the crime, and it seems that house is being bulldozed. Well, is it done through the legal route? That the question is out there, but the bulldozers are rolling again, and this time around the UP government once again is what they say dispensing justice at the hand of bulldozers. Let's quickly listen in to the reactions that are coming in.
कोई अतीक अहमद के कनेक्शन को स्थापित करने वाले तस्वीरें नहीं मिली, जैसे कि कल जफर अहमद खान के घर से मिली थी। हालांकि वो घर शाइस्ता परवीन जो अतीक अहमद की पत्नी है वो रह रही थी वहाँ पर कई सालों से, तो वो सामान चूंकि उनका पूरा था तो जाहिर है कि उनके पति और उनके देवर की और परिवार की तस्वीरें वो थी। लेकिन इतना ज़रूर है कि इस घर से अभी कोई अतीक अहमद के कनेक्शन से जुड़ी हुई कोई तस्वीर या पोस्टर नहीं मिला है। वहीं दूसरी तरफ जो परिवार के लोगों ने शुरुआत में जब विकास प्राधिकरण के लोग पहुंचे, पुलिस पहुंची, तो उन लोगों ने एतराज़ जताया कि हमें तो बताया ही नहीं गया कि हमारा मकान को कब नोटिस दिया गया। लेकिन जब पुलिस के अधिकारियों ने बताया कि अगर आप व्यवधान डालेंगे तो कानूनी कार्रवाई की जद में आएंगे, सरकारी काम में बाधा पहुंचाने का अपराध करेंगे, तो संभवतः उनको अंदर ले जाकर के पुलिस के अधिकारियों के द्वारा बताया गया। और उसके बाद परिवार वाले खुद ही और प्रयागराज एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के द्वारा जो मजदूर बुलाए गए थे उनकी मदद से उस सामान को बाहर निकाला गया। कोई ऐसा शुरुआत में ज़रूर उन लोगों ने एतराज़ जताया, और जाहिर सी बात है कि इतना एतराज़ जताना लाजमी भी था कि किसी का मकान गिर रहा है, वो भले ही अवैध है लेकिन उसके सेंटिमेंट जुड़े होते हैं, उसकी कमाई जुड़ी होती है। अब इस कमाई के पीछे अपराध की कमाई है या अतीक अहमद के कनेक्शन है या अतीक अहमद की फंडिंग है, ये जांच का विषय है। लेकिन परिवार के लोग इसमें रह रहे हैं, उनके बच्चे इसी परिवार में रह रहे हैं, उनके जो परिवार के अन्य सदस्य की भावनाएं हैं, तो लिहाजा एतराज़ जताया गया। लेकिन बहुत ऐसा जब अधिकारियों के द्वारा समझाया गया तो उनके द्वारा खुद ही सामान को निकाला गया, और जब ये पूरा सामान निकाल लिया गया, जो ज़रूरी सामान था वो निकाल लिया गया, तब प्रयागराज विकास प्राधिकरण ने आसपास की देखे बिजली भी काट दी गई है। चूँकि घर के सामने जो लाइट के जो कनेक्शंस हैं वो भी हैं, तो लिहाजा उसको काट दिया गया है। तो उसके बाद ये कार्रवाई शुरू की गई है। तो एक तरीके से जो फर्स्ट फ्लोर है वो देखिए, वो फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे जो रेलिंग बनी हुई है उसको ध्वस्त किया जा चुका है, और एक तरीके से जो ग्राउंड फ्लोर पर भी एक साथ कई जगह पर ध्वस्तीकरण की कार्रवाई शुरू हो रही है। 3 बुलडोज़र की मदद से ध्वस्तीकरण किया जा रहा है। मुझे लगता है कि कल जिस तरीके से करीब 6.5 घंटे एक छोटे से मकान को गिराने में लगे, लेकिन वहाँ पर एक बुलडोज़र था।
All right, so that's my colleague Santosh reporting from the very latest in Prayagraj. This is the residence once again, what is alleged to be a close aide of Atique Ahmed, and that is where the bulldozers are rolling. Now, days after the sensational murder of lawyer Umesh Pal in Uttar Pradesh, all the fallout of that being witnessed with these bulldozers. Let's try and once again listen in to some.
खिलाफ कार्रवाई के एक सिंबल हो गया है। सिंबल है बाबा का बुलडोजर चलेगा, कहते भी हैं बाबा ने भी कि बाबा का बुलडोजर आया। अब बुलडोजर चलता है तो लोग कहते हैं बाबा का बुलडोजर। तो यानी कि अब ये बुलडोजर एक ध्वस्तीकरण का, अपराधियों के खिलाफ कार्रवाई का एक सिंबल हो गया है। लेकिन अगर हम कल की कार्रवाई की बात करें तो कल जब तंग गली में ये कार्रवाई शुरू की गई, वो तंग गली थी, वहाँ पर एक ही बुलडोजर चल सकता था, लेकिन वो एक मोहल्ले नुमा का था। लेकिन ये एक सड़क गई हुई है, मेन सड़क है, कसारा मसारा एक मोहल्ला है और चकिया, उसको कनेक्टिंग करते हुए जो अतीक अहमद के घर की तरफ जो सड़क जाती है उसकी ये मेन सड़क है। अब लिहाजा और यहाँ पर एक साथ 3 बुलडोज़र से कार्रवाई करने की एक तरीके से एक जगह भी है, लिहाजा प्रशासन नहीं चाहता कि इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा टाइम लगे और एक साथ ये 3 बुलडोज़र लगा करके इसका ध्वस्तीकरण किया जा रहा है, क्योंकि इस कार्रवाई को सूर्यास्त से पहले, नियमतः सूर्यास्त के बाद अमूमन बुलडोज़र नहीं चलता है। तो वो बुलडोज़र को चलाया जा रहा है ताकि ये समय रहते इसको गिराया जा सके और इसको गिराने के बाद मलबा भी इकट्ठा होगा। तो चूंकि जगह है यहाँ पर बुलडोज़र को चलने के लिए, बुलडोज़र को काम करने के लिए, लिहाजा एक साथ यहाँ पर, और दूसरा सिंबॉलिक तो है ही है, एक संदेश तो देना ही है ऐसे माफियाओं के खिलाफ। जिस तरीके से उमेश पाल मर्डर केस में अतीक अहमद का नाम आया और अतीक अहमद के लोगों का नाम आया, अतीक अहमद के ऊपर साजिश का आरोप लग रहा है, अतीक अहमद के जो करीबी बिल्डर हैं, बमबाज है गुड्डू मुस्लिम, उसका नाम आया, मोहम्मद गुलाम का नाम आ रहा है, साबिर का नाम आ रहा है, और तो और जो एक कार से उतरता हुआ शख्स बताया जा रहा है वो तो अतीक अहमद का बेटा ही बताया जा रहा है। तो इस कार्रवाई को मैसेज गिविंग भी कार्रवाई मानी जाएगी कि अतीक अहमद या माफियाओं से अगर कोई भी रिश्ता रखा किसी ने, एक सीधे संदेश है कि माफिया से रिश्ता रख करके कोई काम करेगा तो वो अवैध होगा, उसके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होगी। बहुत सीधा संदेश है। एक टाइम था कि माफिया से जो लोग रिश्ता रखते थे वो समाज में अपने आप को ताकतवर बताने की कोशिश करते थे, लेकिन अब इस कार्रवाई से एक ये संदेश देने की कोशिश है कि माफियाओं से संपर्क में आए या माफियाओं के सरपरस्त बने, माफियाओं के मददगार बने या माफिया के साथ नाम जुड़ा तो बुलडोज़र चलेगा, कानूनी कार्रवाई होगी।
I want to quickly cut across to my colleague Gaurav Sawant, who's joining us right now from the newsroom. Of all the action that we see taking place right now in Prayagraj, can you take us through the chronology, Gaurav?
So right now, this is one of the key aides of Atique Ahmed, mafia turned politician. Now, Atique Ahmed himself is in the Sabarmati jail in Gujarat, and he's filed a petition in the Supreme Court saying he should not be brought to Uttar Pradesh for questioning, for interrogation, because he fears for his life. Yesterday, it was a key aide of his whose house was razed. That is where his wife and the shooters allegedly stayed. Now, the house that's been targeted today is of a person called Safdar, and Safdar apparently, and that's what the police claim, he provided the ammunition and the weapons. His house is being targeted today. The government claims, the Prayagraj Vikas Pradhikaran or Prayagraj Development Authority claims that this also is an illegal structure and notices had been given to carry out demolition of the illegal part of the structure. That's what we've been told. But as you asked and as several people have been asking, whether this Baba ka bulldozer, as Santosh and people in Uttar Pradesh refer to the demolition drive, is in a way sending out a message to the mafia that they cannot indulge in crime. And the question that's being asked is whether due process of law has been followed in this case. Now, the police claim all process of law is being followed in dealing with the criminals. This is the activity of the Development Authority.
All right, Gaurav, appreciate you joining us with that quick update. I'm going to slip into a break. To stay with us on the other side, my colleague Shivaru takes over.
You are watching India Today.
India Today Conclave 2023, March 17th and 18th, New Delhi. Listen to S. Jaishankar, Shashi Tharoor, Justice U. Lalit, Justice Sharad Arvind Bobde, Sanjeev Goenka, Anil Agarwal. The India Moment.
You have seen Iron Man Tony Stark wear it to reach war zones. You have seen Shah Rukh Khan and John Abraham wage a war in the sky wearing these. Jetpack suits are now going to be part of military drills and rescue operations. The Indian Army will soon adopt jetpack technology. These suits will be used for enhanced tactical mobility on line of actual control amid border tensions with China. The Indian Aerospace Defence News shared a demo on Twitter of its jetpack flying over a water body, buildings and fields. Soldiers will be able to fly 10 to 15 meters in the air by wearing this suit powered by a gas turbine engine. They can clock a speed of 50 km per hour. Jetpacks were the center of attraction at the Aero India 2023 held recently.
अगर टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में बात करेंगे, ये पूरा टर्बोजेट इंजन से चलता है। इसका डीजल फ्यूल है। हमने डीजल इसलिए चूज़ किया कि डीजल का जो फ्लैश पॉइंट एंड फायर पॉइंट है वो नॉर्मल एविएशन फ्यूल से काफ़ी आगे है।
Jetpacks are being tested by armed forces across the world. These videos from the UK highlight the features of the technology. In the first video, one can see how a soldier lands on the deck and drops a ladder over the side for the rest of the team to climb up on. In the second, the soldier demonstrates the ability to quickly zip back and forth between the ship and the raft. And in the third, 3 jet suit jockeys land on the deck of a ship successfully. Jet suits are soon going to change the way wars are fought. Bureau Report, India Today.
Gift well with Sleep Well.
Another big news day in India today. Once again emerges the most watched channel in the country. Thank you very much, viewer, for your faith and your viewership on yet another big agenda-setting news day in 2023. I'm Shiv. Let's get you straight to the headlines. Clear edge for BJP in Tripura. BJP leads in 34 seats. Left in Congress lead in just 14. And Tipra Motha leads in 11. Modi's victory lap at 7 p.m. in Delhi. The BJP-NDPP alliance near the two-thirds majority mark in Nagaland. It's a clean sweep. BJP hopes to form government with NPP in Meghalaya amidst a split verdict. Foreign Affairs Minister meets US Secretary of State Antony Blinken in the sidelines of the G20 meet. Bilateral with Chinese envoy also any minute now. Supreme Court orders SEBI probe on manipulation of stock prices in Adani Hindenburg case. Says report to be submitted to expert panel within 2 months. Adani welcomes the move, says truth will prevail. Big Supreme Court verdict on appointment of Central Election Commission chief. Says CEC must be appointed like the CBI chief. That is by a panel of the Prime Minister, Leader of the Opposition and the Chief Justice of India. And bulldozers roll into Prayagraj for the second day straight. Another house linked to Umesh Pal murder accused razed to the ground. The house belongs to gangster-turned-neta Atique Ahmed's aide. Big breaking images coming in from the G20 Foreign Ministers Summit in Delhi, where India is playing host. Here are the first images of India's External Affairs Minister Jai Shankar meeting with his American counterpart Antony Blinken, who arrived in India late last night. This is the world's oldest democracy and the world's largest democracy in a bilateral. Biden's top envoy, Antony Blinken, meeting with India's External Affairs Minister on a wide-ranging list of issues that are expected to also include, of course, the Ukraine war, the emerging and strengthening India-US relationship, the Chinese situation, and many more things as India plays host at the G20 summit. These are the first images coming in of Dr. S. Jaishankar meeting with his American counterpart, Antony Blinken. And remember, India Today will have the first exclusive interview with Secretary Blinken later this evening on prime time right here on India Today. So you can look out for that. In the meantime, going across to our Foreign Affairs editor, Geeta Mohan for more. Geeta, the Blinken-Jaishankar bilateral, first images coming in. What are you hearing? You know, the mood is, the body language is great. The pictures coming out show the both of them beaming, big toothy smiles as well. This is, of course, one of the most important relationships, not just within the G20, but, across the world. What's your sense of what's going on, Geeta?
Well, absolutely right, Shiv. When it comes to the kind of relations India and the United States of America share, it's only grown in strength. And Blinken and Jaishankar have had a very important and a very great relationship when it comes to taking ties between the two countries forward. In terms of focus, Blinken, ahead of his visit, had very clearly said that he'd like to focus on the G20 agenda. But America's G20 agenda does include the Russia-Ukraine war, how the world is looking at that war and standing with Ukraine. Food and energy security absolutely paramount when it comes to ensuring that the G20 member states focus on how to ensure food and energy security for those countries that are very adversely impacted. So bilateral, regional and global issues all taken up. We're waiting for a statement from the Indian side to see what the nitty-gritties and the details of those conversations are. But the fact is that in terms of bilaterals and regional, Russia and China certainly are areas that are a part of the conversation between the two sides. We're looking at big deals, Boeing being one, how to take that relationship forward as well. In terms of security and defense ties, the Quad ministerial was to happen, but the Japanese foreign minister is not here, Shiv. So we'll have to wait and see whether that really takes place on the sidelines. But a lot of area covered between Jaishankar and Blinken.
Okay, lots of areas covered. We're looking forward to that statement that will come out from the Indian side. Geeta, of course, will bring that to us first here on India Today. Geeta, for the moment, thanks very much for joining me. We're shifting focus out of G20 for a moment to bring you some breaking news coming in from Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh. Take a look at what we're getting in right now from our reporters. It's day 2. Okay, we're just going to go to that in just a moment. That's right, day 2 of Bulldozer action in Prayagraj, images of which are just coming in. These are images of Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister's bulldozers, bringing to rubble the house of gangster turned politician Atique Ahmed's aide's house in Prayagraj. This is the second day straight that this has taken place. Yesterday also, we saw bulldozer action taking place in Prayagraj. It's happening for the second day straight now. We're going to get our reporters in on this in just a moment. Atique Ahmed, the gangster, is sitting in the Sabarmati jail in Ahmedabad on a murder case. He's been sitting there, and there are reports that have suggested that it was on his orders from which Umesh Pal was killed in a dreaded daylight killing just a few days ago in Prayagraj, and now the killers of Umesh Pal are absconding. Those who hatched the entire conspiracy to silence Umesh Pal, the witness in that murder implicating Atique Ahmed, are absconding at this point of time. And what you're seeing on your screens right now is the state action against those cowards who are now on the run. Aides of gangster criminal murderer Atique Ahmed. part of the Samajwadi Party, member also of the Apna Dal and the AIMIM of Asaduddin Owaisi. This gangster has been ordering murders, and this action you see is against his aides in the Umesh Pal murder. Gaurav Sawant with me live on this. Gaurav, talk us through these pictures. Day 2, big bulldozer action, relentless.
Indeed, Shiv, and these men, according to the Uttar Pradesh police, whose houses are being razed, or the illegal portion of whose houses are being razed, were directly linked, according to the Uttar Pradesh police, to the murder that took place, a murder that shocked the living daylights out of people across Uttar Pradesh and the nation. So, Safdar Ali, the house that's being razed today, apparently, according to the Uttar Pradesh police, he's the man who provided the arms and the ammunition for that encounter. Point 1. Point 2, the man whose house was razed yesterday, Khalid Zafar, apparently Atique Ahmed's wife and the shooters met at that premises both before and after the shootout that had taken place, in which Umesh Pal was killed. Bombs were hurled. So the person who hurled the bombs and the shooters, including allegedly Atique Ahmed's son, they all met at that house, they hid there, and then they fled. And that is where Prashant Kumar, the Additional Director General of the Uttar Pradesh Police, in their exclusive conversation with India Today, when I interviewed him, he told us that even those who give shelter to the murder accused will face the strong arm of the law. But as far as the demolition is concerned, Shiv, both the police and the Prayagraj Development Authority are at pains to say that this is not linked directly to that crime, but this is illegal construction. Of course, notices, if you notice, Shiv, the day of the killing was the 24th of February. Notices were given on the 28th of February, and the demolition is now taking place on the 2nd of March. So two part, but the significance, like Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said on the floor of the Uttar Pradesh Assembly, mitti mein mila denge mafia ko. That is exactly what appears to be happening amidst questions whether due process of law is being followed.
Now this is, the Yogi Adityanath as Chief Minister has faced a great deal of politics and questions and criticism about bulldozer action, but he doesn't care. He doesn't care about, his critics right now, because this action has, to him and to his supporters and to many others, has sent out a very clear message to the Jungle Raj in Uttar Pradesh under erstwhile governments. And Atique Ahmed has a very close link to the Samajwadi Party in an earlier avatar. And his gangster qualities have obviously appealed to other parties, including the AIMIM. And therefore, the house of his aide, where his wife is understood to have held meetings with the killers of Umesh Pal, is being raised, as you see on the ground. You can call it extrajudicial action, but this is state action that is instant. It is instant justice in many people's eyes, and there is a quality that most people will see in such action as being necessary and urgent. Santosh Sharma is also with me live. Santosh, take us through these images. Day 2, bulldozer action once again against the aides of Atique Ahmed.
Yes, I'm on the ground. I'm showing the pictures. This is the house of Safdar Ali, who is said to be the close aide of Atique Ahmed. Today, the local development authority is going to demolish, and we can say already demolished a big part of that Safdar Ali house. Safdar Ali is having a gun house in Prayagraj market, that is the Johnson Road, SSA gun house. He is the owner of that gun house, and Safdar Ali resides here. On paper, this house belongs to his two sons, and Safdar Ali claims that he is not having any connection with Atique Ahmed. Not even he met any family members. Even they have no connection with their criminal background. Even on asking about the Umesh Pal murder case, those who have committed this crime, whether the ammunitions have been supplied by this SSA gun house, no officially or unofficially, no higher officials is claiming that there is any connection right now, but we are probing, we are trying to get any connection. On the other side, the local development authority, the Prayagraj Development Authority, today deployed 5 JCB machines, Pokeland machine, which is going on to demolish this house. This is Safdar Ali house. The local development authority served many notices before, and lastly they served this notice on 28th of February, and they have served this notice that this construction is illegal and they have to vacate this house, and otherwise it will be demolished. And today when whole administration with JCB machine and all ammunitions, all machinery came, the family members opposed this action. They said they didn't give any
Santosh, where are the family members?
Notice,
the people who live in these houses, where are they right now, Santosh? Where are they?
They have taken off their belongings, and right now they are in the neighbor area. They reside here, and we are seeing Safdar and his sons. We also talked to him, Safdar and 2 sons. What is their saying on this action? They said they didn't get any notice, and they are not very close to Atique Ahmed. And now these pictures shows the action is going on. The JCB, we can say the local municipal corporation started this action. The machine JCB started to demolish this house, and the first, we can say the floor, second floor is going to be demolished. Startingly 3 machines were deployed, and now they have been removed as the base of this house has been demolished, and now the basic construction, the upper construction is now starting on to demolish. Local electricity supply has been stopped. Local administration is present here, so we can see the bulldozer is in action. What Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said in assembly session, that ऐसे माफियाओं को मिट्टी में मिला दिया जाएगा. So we can see the bulldozer action to demolish these those who are called very close to Atique Ahmed. Or
the live images, Santosh, that are coming in on your camera suggests that there's a huge cloud of smoke behind you. Are they going to bring down the entire house, or are they bringing down only some illegal portions? Because this seems like a even bigger action than yesterday.
They are going to demolish whole house. They said that this house is totally illegal. Their construction area is totally illegal without permission of local development authority. As yesterday we saw that the demolition of Zafar Ahmed Khan, who was residing merely 500 meters away from Atique Ahmed house, where Shaista, wife of Atique Ahmed, was living there from last 2 to 3 years. After her Atique Ahmed house demolition, Zafar Ahmed Khan house was demolished, but there was a criminal angle in that house, that after Umesh Pal murder, the shooters came to meet Shaista, and after that meeting they fled off, and now UPSTF and Prayagraj police is searching all of them. So Zafar Ahmed Khan was having a criminal connection with Umesh Pal murder and also with the Prayagraj Development Authority, but today the action is going on with the Safdar Ali house. No criminal connection yet to be found by any police investigating team. Local development authority said that this construction is illegal, and now we can say the big action, the JCB machine is trying to demolish that roof of top roof of that house. So we can say that this is coming down. We can see the constructed area, the cemented, the roof RCC, and the iron rods coming out due to this demolition drive. The hard hit by this JCB machine. What we are seeing,
this is big.
Live. These are the live pictures.
This is big. Santosh, just for a moment, I just want to try and get some natural sound in. Let's just get some sound in for a moment, Santosh. 1 second. Let's just get some sound in. This is big action, viewer. If you're tuning in just now, this is the home of a gangster's aid in Uttar Pradesh being razed to the ground. A mountain of rubble is all that's going to be left of Atique Ahmed's aides. house in Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh. Atique Ahmed is the politician gangster who is sitting in jail in Ahmedabad, who ordered allegedly the murder of Umesh Pal, a witness to a murder in which Atique Ahmed was implicated in 2005. It was a dastardly daylight murder, a daring daylight murder that took place. And now the killers who are absconding, this is their houses being razed to pieces by the Yogi Adityanath government. This is perhaps one of the most visible, high-profile actions against Jungle Raj so far by the Yogi government. No mercy, no let, an absolute determined demolition of the homes of two gangsters allegedly involved in the murder of Umesh Pal, a daylight murder that took place just a few days ago in Prayagraj. This is Yogi Adityanath turning the screws on the Jungle Raj and the Mafia Raj of Uttar Pradesh. This is likely to spark an even bigger political flashpoint with the Samajwadi Party, the party that had been a safe haven for a gangster like Atique Ahmed for many, many years. He had won elections on Samajwadi Party tickets for many years, and now he's sitting in a jail in Ahmedabad, still busy running his crime empire in Uttar Pradesh, apparently, according to investigative agencies. And now this is state action being taken against two houses belonging to two aides of Atique Ahmed, believed to be involved in the murder of Umesh Pal. The family is absconding. They've taken their belongings and run out from there. These constructions are illegal and they are simply being brought down at a moment's notice. Gaurav continues to be with me. Gaurav, this is concerted action because we both know that Yogi Adityanath has consistently faced criticism. He has faced headwinds. He has faced a lot of questioning regarding the tone and tenor of such action. Many people have called it extrajudicial, but this is Yogi Adityanath delivering on what he promised, which is an unsparing crackdown on Mafia Raj, which is what is happening now, Gaurav.
Shiv, you're absolutely right. Yogi Adityanath continues to bash on regardless. And the Uttar Pradesh police and administration, when you speak to them, they say that if Atique Ahmed or Safdar Ali or that Khalid Zafar, if any of them think that this action is illegal, or anybody else in the Samajwadi Party, is what that Uttar Pradesh official said, if they think that this action is illegal, they can approach courts of law. According to them, they are following due process of law. These houses are illegal, built illegally, notices have been sent. The members of the house have been told to remove their belongings, and once those belongings have been removed, this action is taking place. So in case they want to challenge it, they should feel free to go to court. Atique Ahmed, of course, did go to court. And that's another point that the Uttar Pradesh police was making in that conversation that we had with them, when they said that once upon a time in Uttar Pradesh, the writ of Atique Ahmed used to run large. But now Atique Ahmed fears for his life. A mafia don fears for his life. He doesn't want to return to Uttar Pradesh. So this is, according to them, according to BJP leaders and MPs, the Ram Rajya that they are moving towards, where criminals will be scared and law-abiding citizens will be protected.
Sharma, member of the legislature.
BJP
MLA from Uttar Pradesh, Sunil Sharma, is with me live for more on this. Sunil ji, ये जो बुलडोजर एक्शन ये जो एक्शन लिया जा रहा है प्रयागराज में अतीक अहमद के जो एसोसिएट्स के घर के ऊपर, इसके बारे में क्या बताएंगे? ये एक कंसर्टेड एक्शन है माफिया राज के खिलाफ।
मुख्यमंत्री जी स्पष्ट रूप से घोषित कर चुके हैं कि अपराधियों को उत्तर प्रदेश से नेस्तनाबूद किया जाएगा। किसी भी प्रकार का अवैध निर्माण, अवैध धंधे उत्तर प्रदेश में अब नहीं चल सकते। ये अवैध निर्माण है, ध्वस्त किया गया है। कोई अपराधी, कोई माफिया, कोई गुंडा, कोई मवाली अब उत्तर प्रदेश में इस प्रकार के अवैध निर्माण नहीं कर सकता।
लेकिन शर्मा जी, परिस्थिति तो ये है ना कि सफदर अली के घर को गिराया जा रहा है या खालिद के घर को गिराया जा रहा है। जो बमबाज हैं उनके घरों तक नहीं पहुंच रही है पुलिस, और इसमें भी लोग न केवल राजनीति बल्कि धर्म देख रहे हैं।
ये बात गलत है कि धर्म देख रहे हैं, राजनीति देख रहे हैं। ना ये राजनीति है ना धर्म है। ये उत्तर प्रदेश की कानून व्यवस्था है और जो अवैध निर्माण होगा वही गिराया जाएगा, चाहे वह किसी का भी हो।
लेकिन शर्मा जी, घर गिराने की कार्रवाई तो अदालत के आदेश के बाद आनी चाहिए। ये तो क्या योगी आदित्यनाथ की सरकार और प्रशासन ही जज, ज्यूरी, एग्जीक्यूशनर मतलब तीनों ही लटका दिया, लोगों के घर तबाह कर दिए? सर
नहीं है, प्रशासन ने नियम के अनुसार, कानून के अनुसार विधि सम्मत कार्रवाई की है और अगर किसी को लगता है कि विधि सम्मत नहीं है तो न्यायालय जा सकते हैं। विधि सम्मत कार्रवाई की है। अवैध निर्माण को ध्वस्त करने का प्रशासन को अधिकार है। उसने नोटिस पहले जारी किए हैं और एक जो प्रक्रिया है उसके अंतर्गत ही ध्वस्तीकरण किया जा रहा है।
तो क्या अतीक अहमद के घर को भी निशाना बनाया जाएगा?
जो भी अवैध निर्माण होगा, जो माफियाओं के द्वारा गलत निर्माण किए गए हैं, वो कोई भी हो, उसे छोड़ा नहीं जाएगा।
Shiv, clearly you heard Sunil Sharma, the BJP MLA, very clear. Any illegal construction will be demolished, and the BJP claims due process of law is being followed. Notices were sent, people were asked to vacate their houses and then destroyed. And Shiv, as you very rightly pointed out, the house that was targeted first, that house is where Shaista Parveen, Atique Ahmed's wife, and the shooters, according to the Uttar Pradesh police, they took shelter in that house after the shooting of Umesh, and that is why Umesh Pal, and that is why police went there after following due process of law. They say the entire list has been drawn out. Yesterday there was one bulldozer. Today you see 3 in action. There are 2 more that are in the pipeline, and over the next several days, Shiv, we are told that several illegal houses of these mafia would be destroyed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just look at these pictures, Gaurav, and I'm going to try and get Santosh Sharma in on this as well because, you know, Gaurav asked a very important question which we don't have the answer to yet. These 2 houses of Atique Ahmed's aides are being reduced to rubble. Just take a look at these. These are live pictures, viewer. Just to remind all of our viewers that India Today is live on these pictures and we won't be moving our cameras away until this story is completed. We're going to show you this whole thing. Wherever you may stand on this story, these are compelling pictures for those who have suffered Mafia Raj and Jungle Raj in the state of Uttar Pradesh. They are symbolic. There has been criticism of the Yogi government for many months and years about this kind of action. But to the people who've suffered Jungle Raj in Uttar Pradesh, this has a special kind of meaning. The big question also pertaining to this story is, what about the home of Atique Ahmed itself? Are they only going to demolish his aides' houses or Atique Ahmed's house as well? Let's listen into Santosh Sharma. He's reporting live from the site.
कि हमें इनकी तलाश है और जाहिर सी बात है कि अगर इनकी तलाश है तो इनकी अपराध से अर्जित संपत्ति जो कानूनन तौर पर उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार ने शुरू किया है मिट्टी में मिलाने का, जमींदोज करने का, तो वो एक उनका टारगेट हो सकते हैं। लेकिन अभी उसमें कितना कागजी कार्रवाई भी करनी होगी और उनका गिरफ्तार होना भी ज़रूरी है। तो पुलिस की टीमें एक तरफ उनकी गिरफ्तारी करने में साबिर, मोहम्मद गुलाम और गुड्डू मुस्लिम इनकी गिरफ्तारी की भी कोशिश कर रही हैं।
These are images coming in on Santosh's cameras, viewer. He's continuing to report for us, and only Santosh's team and cameras are getting you this up-close view of a demolition in full swing. Yogi Adityanath government, unsparing, couldn't give 2 hoots about civil society criticism about the action being taken against gangsters and Mafia Raj in Uttar Pradesh. He is bashing on regardless, as Gaurav just said. These are bulldozers from yesterday and from today. We've got 2 cameras pointed at today's demolition action that is playing out live for you. We're going to put that live symbol there so you know these pictures are live here on India Today, and we're going to continue to show them to you. Santosh Sharma will be with us in just a moment. Gaurav Sawant continues to be with us as well. Gaurav, any clarity on whether Atique Ahmed's house will also be demolished in a similar way? He's a powerful man. He's been associated with the Samajwadi Party, the AIMIM, the Apna Dal. Okay, Santosh is... Okay, Gaurav, let me come to you in just a moment. Santosh is live with me. Santosh, have they managed to completely demolish the whole house? We can see a huge cloud of smoke Your camera angle is the best angle on this story, Santosh. Take us through what's happening right now.
तस्वीरों के जरिए मैं दिखा रहा हूँ, ये तस्वीरें देखिए कि सामने जो घर गिर रहा है ये सफदर अली का घर है। पूरा ज़मींदोज कर दिया गया है और ज़मींदोज करने के बाद ये पूरा एक्शन हो रहा है। जेसीबी लगा करके नगर निगम प्रयागराज की मशीन ने सामने ही हम आपसे बात कर रहे हैं और उसी दौरान वो एक बड़े हिस्से को गिरा देती है। देखते ही देखते कुछ मिनट के अंदर मकान का पूरा हिस्सा ज़मींदोज कर दिया जाता है, ध्वस्त कर दिया जाता है। ये जेसीबी लगा करके कार्रवाई की जा रही है। इससे पहले 3 बुलडोज़र को लगा करके कार्रवाई की गई थी। मकान का जो बेस था, जो कंस्ट्रक्टेड एरिया था, जो उसको गिराया गया, उसको कमज़ोर किया गया और उसके बाद अब इसको कार्रवाई की जा रही है। तो ये सफदर अली का मकान है जिसको कि करीब 1.5 घंटे से इसके गिराने की कार्रवाई चल रही है और 1.5 घंटे के अंदर एक बड़ा हिस्सा गिरा दिया गया है।
संतोष, अतीक अहमद का घर कहाँ है? क्या उनके घर के खिलाफ भी कुछ एक्शन लिया जा सकता है, बुलडोजर एक्शन?
देखिए, अतीक अहमद का घर, ये सफदर अली का घर जो अभी गिराया जा रहा है, इससे महज करीब 500 मीटर या 700 मीटर की दूरी पर है। ये एक ही इलाका है चकिया का। ये कसारा मसारा मोहल्ला है और वो चकिया का इलाका है, लेकिन वो एक बड़े एरिया में चकिया ही कहा जाता है। यहाँ से 500 मीटर की दूरी पर है। अतीक अहमद का घर तो बहुत पहले ही गिरा दिया गया था और अतीक अहमद का घर गिरने के बाद ही शाइस्ता परवीन, जो कल घर गिराया गया जफ़र अहमद खान का, उस जफ़र अहमद खान के घर में वो वहाँ पर रहने चली गई थी और अतीक अहमद के घर से वो महज मुश्किल से 100 मीटर की दूरी, 150 मीटर की दूरी पर रहा होगा जफ़र अहमद खान का घर। तो वहाँ पर शाइस्ता रह रही थी और उसके बाद जफ़र अहमद खान का कल घर गिराया गया। लेकिन आज इस घर की दूरी, सफदर अली जिनका ये घर गिराया जा रहा है, उस घर की दूरी एक खासी है, करीब 500 मीटर है। और लेकिन इलाका वही है। यहाँ से अतीक अहमद, उनके भाई अशरफ सांसद विधायक रहे हैं, जो शाइस्ता हैं उनके बेटे यहाँ पर रहते रहे हैं। तो उनका पुश्तैनी इलाका ही ये कहा जाए, ये पूरा इलाका अतीक अहमद का ही इलाका कहा जाता है, जहाँ पर ये आज ये डिमोलिशन की कार्रवाई चल रही है। जी
Santosh, where are the people who are in that house? Where are they right now? Are they being questioned? Because we heard from a few days ago that the meeting between Shaista Parveen and the killers happened in that house. Where are they?
In that house, Shaista Parveen was residing there as a rent. She was took that house on a rent, and we are talking about the Safdar Ali. The action is going on on Safdar Ali house. The owner of this house, Safdar Ali, and his 2 sons, they have took off their belongings and now they are nearby this house. And they clearly mentioned that they didn't have any connection. They didn't have any relation with Atique Ahmed or any connection with the Umesh Pal murder. They didn't got any notice from local development authority, but after seeing the action is being taken, and surely it will be taken as a police force arrived, as a local development authority officials arrived, and starting they said that they didn't give notice, but after knowing that this house will be demolished, they took off their belongings, and now the action is going on. The demolition of that house of which belongs to Safdar Ali son is demolishing. Now we are these are the visuals. The action is going on. The Safdar Ali, we can say half part of this house has been demolished. We can say that what Yogi Adityanath said, that ऐसे माफियाओं को मिट्टी में मिला दूंगा, तो ये मिट्टी में मिला दूंगा, that statement given by Yogi Adityanath, and what we are seeing on the ground, this happens to be real, what Yogi Adityanath said in assembly session.
These are some of the most compelling images we've ever seen so far of action against Mafia Raj in Uttar Pradesh. This is all happening in Prayagraj. I want to quickly come to you now. The demolition of these 2 houses are going to become a symbol. They've happened in different parts of the state. It's being called the Yogi model as well. But somehow, this particular demolition exercise has grabbed headlines in an even bigger way, because in many ways, this aims at the very top Atique Ahmed was an influential, powerful politician who called shots with the state leadership at one point of time in the Samajwadi Party. And that's the reason why the Samajwadi Party is also kind of running scared and trying to hit out at the BJP government in Lucknow.
Shiv, this is a very major signal. This is a very major step that's being taken by the Yogi Adityanath government. But Shiv, if you recall, those images of Umesh Pal being targeted, the brazen manner in which that Creta car was used to overtake Umesh Pal's car, and then crude bombs were hurled, and not one, not two, but several. And then Atique Ahmed's son, that's what the Uttar Pradesh police claims, Atique Ahmed's son and other shooters, they came out. There were CCTV cameras there. This was a planned murder where one shooter was in a shop. He was keeping an eye. As soon as the shooting started, he came out and they started shooting indiscriminately. Not only did they kill Umesh Pal, they also killed Nishad, Constable Nishad, the gunner, the personal security officer. And that's the point that Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath also raised on the floor of the House, that why is it that some people have sympathies with either an Atique Ahmed or with his aides Safdar Ali, or with the driver of that vehicle Arbaz, or this Khalid Zafar, and not with Constable Nishad, who was killed by them, or with Umesh Pal, or with Raju Pal, because this is a gang's action, a mafia's action to silence opponents. So, you know, that wave of crime would have started, is what Uttar Pradesh police claims, had they not taken this very decisive action. So that decisive action started, Shiv, with the targeting, if you'd recall, of the driver the very next day. The moment the police reached the driver, there was a shootout. One police SHO was injured, and Arbaz, he was injured. He was shot in the leg and perhaps very close to his chest. He died on his way to hospital. Then you'd recall Sadakat Khan,
yes,
a law student at the Muslim hostel. Then that Guddu Musalman, and there are 4 others, some who remain absconding and some who've been arrested. So the police are trying to unravel this entire crime scene and also go after those who were a party to this. Now, Prashant Kumar, the ADGP Law and Order, said those who give shelter to these elements, the strongest possible action will be taken even against them. This perhaps is part of that indication, Shiv.
It's definitely part of a larger message that Yogi Adityanath has been consistently giving out. It has been the subject matter of a great deal of politics in UP. Many states in different parts of the country have talked about adopting the Yogi model. There have been echoes of the Yogi model in poll-bound Karnataka over thugs and terrorists, having their houses demolished in a similar fashion. That hasn't happened just yet, but the Yogi model in action is what you're witnessing right now, viewer. It's controversial, it's contentious, it has its critics, but to the people of Uttar Pradesh who have faced Jungle Raj, Mafia Raj, that has stopped the state from progressing and and becoming more developed, these pictures are going to be extremely evocative. These pictures are going to be extremely symbolic. And remember that law and order in Uttar Pradesh has been a big election calling card of the Yogi Adityanath Sarkar. And that's one of the reasons why, when it comes to law and order, when it comes to crime, it has been something where Yogi Adityanath has been unsparing. Santosh has been tracking this very, very closely. Santosh, yesterday one house, today one house. Are there going to be more such demolitions going forward, Santosh? What are you hearing?
Yeah, Prayagraj Development Authority made a list of more than 24 such type of people who have constructed illegally their houses. Some of them, what our sources said, that many of them are very close to Atique Ahmed and his family, and we can say they were the aid of Atique Ahmed gang. what we are seeing right now is Safdar House, Safdar Ali House, whose house is being demolished today after a big drive. We can see the 5 machines were deployed in this whole operation to demolish Safdar Ali House. Safdar Ali is called very close to Atique Ahmed. He is having a gun shop at Johnson Road in Prayagraj market. But our sources saying that Atique Ahmed was very close and he have full faith on Safdar Ali, and Safdar Ali always be in touch with Atique Ahmed and his family, what our sources claimed. But Atique Ahmed, Safdar Ali claimed that he never have any connection, criminal connection or Umesh Pal murder connection with or his son. What we are seeing,
yes.
Now we 2/3 of this whole house is been demolished. 2/3 part of this house has been demolished. Within 2 hours, we can claim that within 2 hours, this whole house which was constructed, or we can say that was the landmark of this locality. People say that my house is behind Safdar Ali Koti. My house is in front of Safdar Ali Koti, and now that Safdar Ali Koti is being demolished by Prayagraj Development Authority.
Stay with me, Santosh. You know, Gaurav continues to be with us. Gaurav, I just wanted to get some perspective from you. You know, many of our viewers may not know this, but Gaurav Sawant began his career as a crime correspondent, and he has witnessed police action, state action when it comes to gangsters and organized crime syndicates, both in the national capital as well as in Uttar Pradesh and beyond. Gaurav, the demolition of houses, you know, just break it down for us. What does it actually do to these gangsters? It hits them where it hurts, because these are, after all, safe havens for them and their families. A lot of planning of crimes happens, I'm guessing, behind closed doors in these locations. And this, you know, actually hits them where it hurts, doesn't it?
Shiv, you're right. Every man's house is his castle. It's an old English saying, but that's exactly what is happening. So how do gangsters survive? They survive on 2 aspects. There are 2 things that spur them on. One is political patronage. Second is financial support. Where is it stored? In their houses. Their houses, in a way, show their strength in any locality. And when Atique Ahmed's house was demolished, or when houses of several gangsters were demolished after Yogi Adityanath became Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, there was a signal that was being sent out that Mafia Raj is over. Because many times it is said, whoever be the Chief Minister, whether it's the Samajwadi Party, the Bahujan Samaj Party or the BJP, these mafia, they continue to rule the roost because they would make deep inroads in the establishment, whether it's the police or the administration, and they would continue to survive. Their money power and their political power would see them through. But the moment their houses are destroyed, the message goes out loud and clear. 1, there is no political patronage. 2, there is no financial backup, because when they cannot even protect their own homes, for example, when Atique Ahmed's wife has to live in somebody else's house, it just goes on to show that his support base or his castle has been taken out. So that was the signal. But Atique Ahmed, given his deep pockets, given his political connections, despite being in jail, he was trying to run his empire. The fact that first Raju Pal and then Umesh Pal were targeted, the fact that Atique Ahmed's son is seen on those images, you know, he's one of the shooters according to the Uttar Pradesh police. The fact that his gang was involved in this, a stronger message needed to be sent out, which perhaps is 1, the encounter, 2, the demolition of the illegal structures, 3, Atique Ahmed being this larger-than-life mafia don of Uttar Pradesh,
yes,
making that emergency appeal in the Supreme Court, do not transfer me to Uttar Pradesh for interrogation or I will be killed. That was Atique Ahmed's fear, and that's the message that Uttar Pradesh administration officials and of course some BJP leaders have also been saying, that it's not the common man who's now scared when Baba ka bulldozer, that's the way they describe Yogi Adityanath and his administration. Jab Baba ka bulldozer chalta hai, according to them, माफिया थर-थर कांपते हैं और सुप्रीम कोर्ट की शरण में जाते हैं.
So you've seen the bulldozers now. Now listen to what the Baba said. Baba, aka Yogi Adityanath, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, said a few days ago in the UP Assembly. These words have reverberated across UP. And remember, law and order being that big calling card as far as the BJP Sarkar in UP is concerned, it has become an unsparing element of government action. We're slipping into a break. Listen to what Yogi Adityanath said, and we're going to come back to these pictures, by which time that house is going to be complete rubble.
कि जिस अतीक अहमद के खिलाफ पीड़ित परिवारों ने मुकदमा दर्ज कराया उसके परिवार के खिलाफ, वो समाजवादी पार्टी के द्वारा पोषित माफिया है और उसकी कमर को तोड़ने का काम हमारी सरकार ने किया है। और फिर मैं कह रहा हूं इसे इस माफिया को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे। सरकार किसी है गफलत में हो, ये माफिया है, इनको मिट्टी में मिलाने का काम करेंगे। अपराधी आप लोग हैं, अपराधी को भी दूर कर।
तो जैसे सबसे तेज आपकी टैगलाइन है, तो इसी तरह से सबसे तेज हमारी सरकार की लाइफलाइन है।
Thank Mr. Puri.
I thank you for giving me the chance to address you.
Terrorism now a global issue. The First Lady position is so unusual.
Never in my career did I ever see that love and affection in any other country than we saw in India in '79.
Pakistan has been responsible chronically for association with sponsorship of terrorist groups.
It's a very common question that I've seen people deliberating. So if you'd have the answer to that, why should one choose Ather?
Why should one choose Ather? Because that's the best, that's the safest electric scooter right now on the market. It's the most stable electric scooter right now on the market. It's the one that's been built and researched for the longest period, almost 10 years. We started work on the scooter in 2014, actually early 2013, late 2013, and we're here. What you see here is basically an outcome of all of that.
How many more do you plan to sell? What's the market share that you're looking to capture?
So I think we have finally been able to scale up our production to about 35,000 units a month. That's on capacity. Our supply chain still is scaling up. It's now doing about 16,000 units a month. And I'm confident of crossing about 25,000 units, almost 30,000 units a month by later this year, and fully utilizing this plant by either later this year or early next year. After that, we will be production constrained again, and which point we will start working on a new plant. So about in a year's time, we should utilize our full capacity.
So how does this translate into revenue and profitability?
By revenue, I think Ather will be outside of China. Ather will be the number one or number two electric two-wheeler manufacturer in a few months globally. And by profitability, I think we are still some time away from being profitable, while losses continue to narrow. But given the pace at which market is increasing, we have to continue investing in new capacity, we have to continue investing in new charging infrastructure, new product enhancements. So I think cash profitability is still, I'd say, not this year. It's still a year to work.
Wali painting, a mural art form of Maharashtra, gives Aurangabad a facelift ahead of a G20 inception meeting. A group of 120 women painted non-stop for 6 hours to complete the artwork.
वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट शो करते हुए हम लोग ये जो प्रोजेक्ट कर रहे हैं वारली का, वर्ल्ड्स लार्जेस्ट वारली पेंटिंग जो है, जिसका रिकॉर्ड पहले पूना में था, उसको पूना के रिकॉर्ड को ब्रेक करते हुए, उसको चैलेंज करते हुए आज हम सब लड़कियां, वी आर 120 लेडीज हियर वर्किंग फॉर दिस वारली पेंटिंग टुडे. और इसका सबसे बड़ा क्रेडिट जो जाता है, जो मेरी बहुत अच्छी फ्रेंड है, वो है नंदिनी घोडेले. ये कॉन्सेप्ट जो जहाँ से आई है, वो लड़की ने सर 21 इयर्स की लड़की है. दिस इज रियली अ मोटिवेशन टू ऑल द गर्ल्स ओवर हियर.
The work spread over 3,200 square feet will enter the India Book of Records 2024 in the social and cultural category. This painting breaks the earlier record of 3,050 square feet set by artists in Pune. I congratulate all the dignitaries, those who have taken efforts, जिन्होंने इस इवेंट को एक सक्सेसफुल बनाया है, and congratulations to Aurangabad Municipal Corporation. There were no professional artists among the 120 participants. They came from different professions like medicine, accountancy, and engineering. Bureau Report, India Today.
Armed with facts, she takes the news by its horns.
Do you think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold, and direct, setting the tone for the biggest stories from every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
And I want to take you straight back to UP's Prayagraj, where bulldozer action has entered day 2 and the home of Safdar Ali, an aide of gangster murderer politician Atique Ahmed, formerly of the Samajwadi Party, is about to be razed to complete rubble. This demolition has been on for the last 45 minutes. An entire home is being smashed to pieces by government bulldozers, action ordered by State Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. This is day 2 of bulldozer action in the city of Prayagraj. The bulldozers are razing gangster-turned-neta Atique Ahmed's aide's house. This is, remember, in the case pertaining to Umesh Pal's daylight murder just a few days ago. 5 bulldozers can be seen from different angles tearing down the home of Atique Ahmed's aide in Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. Yesterday, bulldozers razed the home of another Atique Ahmed aide. That house was where Umesh Pal's sharpshooters allegedly hid after the daylight murder. Arms were also recovered from that particular house. This particular house is being demolished completely, not just one portion of the house. The entire house has been brought down in a huge pile of rubble. Gangster and former Samajwadi Party legislator Atique Ahmed, currently lodged in an Ahmedabad jail, in Sabarmati jail as a matter of fact, has been named as accused in the Umesh Pal murder case, and it is the homes of his aides that are now being demolished in these live pictures coming in from the city of Prayagraj. I want to go across to India Today's Santosh Sharma, who continues to be on the ground, bringing us the very latest. Santosh, like you reported earlier, this is not just some illegal portion of the house. The entire house is being demolished. The whole house of Safdar Ali is being brought down to the ground.
Yes, the entire house of Sadr will be demolished. It is in the constructed area of 2,000 square feet. What we are getting the information that this house was constructed between 2,000 square feet, and the whole house will be demolished. And now the action is going on. The top floor, the top constructed area is being demolished by JCB, the local and Prayagraj local corporation. Local corporation, the action is going on. What we are saying, from morning, 5 bulldozers have been deployed, a JCB machine has been deployed, and the top floor of Safdar Ali house has been demolished. What we are seeing that within 2 hours and 30 minutes, what we are seeing that the house has been demolished. The Safdar Ali, who was claimed to be a close aide of Atique Ahmed, the action is going on. The officials of Prayagraj Development Authority taking a precaution that during this demolition, no neighbor's house been damaged. So for the moment, we can see the drive of demolition is being stopped. The instruction were given by
Santosh, we'll come back to you. Thank you very much for getting us that ground report. We'll return to these pictures in just a moment. We're getting some breaking news coming in from the G20 summit in the national capital. Okay, the hugely anticipated India-China bilateral meeting has just begun at the G20 Foreign Ministers Summit. Dr. S. Jaishankar, India's External Affairs Minister, and his Chinese counterpart Qin Gang has begun. These are the first high-level diplomatic talks, bilateral talks between India and China since the Ladakh standoff between the two militaries began in early 2020. That bilateral is taking place as we speak. Great expectations at one level, not so many expectations at another level, but all eyes on these two leaders representing both their countries, where relationships in the last couple of years have pretty much hit rock bottom. Our Foreign Affairs editor Geeta Mohan throws some light on it. Geeta, what are the realistic expectations from this very important handshake and this bilateral of India and China?
Well, Shiv, this is the new